Hi everyone, I'm Michelle, aka Imagination Reigns, and I attended the LightBox Expo in Pasadena this October. And since this was my first time attending, I wanted to share my thoughts with all of you. And I want to say right off the bat, oh my god, it was amazing. But it was also kind of hectic. There were thousands of attendees, and probably closer to 2025, I'll do a video on how to navigate Lightbox because it took me the first day to really get the hang of things. And I think it would have been beneficial to know where everything was and how the lines and tickets worked. So, if it's in the same place next year, I'll do a video explaining the best way to attend all the classes and panels. But for this video, I kind of wanted to talk about my experience and why I plan on going back next year. So I came to Lightbox kind of in an art funk. I love painting, no question about that, but I didn't really know where to go next. I had no direction. I had been working on landscape paintings for the past year, and I knew that was my strength, but I didn't know what to do with them. My social media was pretty much dead, and I felt like I was in a void talking to myself. I was working myself into the ground, working a full-time job and trying to grow an art practice, and needless to say, I was starting to lose my fire. Going to Lightbox was like pouring gasoline on my tiny, smoldering campfire. It was like I had been painting in a small room and someone opened the door and said, "Look, if you walk out this door, there's a whole mansion to explore." While I was at Lightbox, the classes and panels were my priority. I wanted to learn as much as I possibly could in those 3 days. I ended up going to 13 different classes, and I was pretty much going from 9 to 6 each day, living on granola bars. Any breaks I got, I spent in the exhibitor hall, where I also got to meet Ross Draws and Naomi Vanderin, and I bought some prints. I also ran into Mew Tripled in the plaza and nearly died. I've never met anyone semi-famous or someone I really admire, and I think I forgot how to act like a person. But she was super nice. I wish I would have got a picture to show you all, but I was so nervous that I completely forgot. Maybe next time. The classes at Lightbox were mind-blowing. I haven't taken any formal art classes since college, and I learned things that made me say, how did I not think of that before? For instance, I learned this technique, I believe it was from Ron Gon the artist, for drawing characters from imagination and thinking about everything as simple shapes. Because it's difficult to manipulate a person, but it's easy to manipulate individual shapes. Such a simple concept, but I think as we progress in our art journey, it's really important to go back to the fundamentals and see them from a new point of view as a more experienced artist. The classes at Lightbox were only an hour long, so there's only so much information you can get in an hour, but what was really valuable was collecting the names of these amazing artists. Most of them have YouTube channels, so now I have hours and hours of content to watch and learn from on my own time, and I probably wouldn't have necessarily found these artists on my own. The other benefit from Lightbox was more intangible. There were artists there who worked with Disney, worked on The Avengers, House of Dragons, and to see their artwork and hear their stories was just music to my soul. To be surrounded not only by these successful artists, but all the attendees whose passion was palpable, I couldn't help but be inspired. It was cool to see that these were just ordinary people who worked extremely hard and were super passionate, and they made art a career for themselves. Two things that really stuck out to me that were said were, and this is paraphrase, 1, what is your purpose as an artist? You need to have a niche in order to be marketable. 2, a weak portfolio is the number one reason why people get rejected for jobs. This really opened my eyes. Even as someone looking to do art on the side, I realized just selling prints wasn't going to cut it, and I needed to have something to sell. I also need a stellar portfolio to reflect that selling point. After listening to those working for the big studios, I immediately realized that working for a studio wasn't what I wanted. I wanted more control of my art, my time, and who I worked with. This led me to think about freelance work, and there was also a class called Thriving as a Freelancer that I was able to take. So the question became, now what do I do as a freelancer? What am I selling? I went back to the things I've done in the past and what makes me happy, In my early 20s, I was a freelance editor, and I felt so much joy putting the books that I had edited up on the mantle in my living room. In fact, they're still there today. And it dawned on me that I would love to go back to those roots and design book covers. The thought of that made me excited again. It brought me back to being a kid in the library, looking at all those covers, trying to find my next adventure. This is something I could see myself doing for a long time. Now, will I change my mind? Maybe, but that's okay. Whether I go on to design book covers or move on to something else, I'm going to learn valuable skills and grow as an artist along the way. For now, I have a concrete goal and something to work towards, and my 2025 goal is to create a portfolio focusing on book covers and hopefully have a portfolio review. I truly believe getting constructive criticism from those that are better than you is extremely important. It creates exponential growth and keeps you from making the same mistakes over and over again. So, these are the questions I pass on to you. Why do you do art? And what is your marketable niche? How is your portfolio, if you have one, and how can you improve it? Be honest with yourself. It will only help you. I came to Lightbox thinking, what am I going to do? And left thinking, I have so much to do. I honestly can't wait to go next year, and I'm excited to see how much I grow between now and then. Here's to a year that's going to be jam-packed and busy, but hopefully there's a great reward on the horizon. Until next time, everyone, keep painting.